In this episode, I'll show you how the position of light dramatically changes the look of your photos. Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Exploring Photography right here on Adorama TV. I'm Mark Wallace, joined once again by Katie, and we are going to be continuing our mini-series on the qualities of light and how to control off-camera flash in a small studio. Last week we talked about the effective size of light, so if you haven't seen that, make sure you check that out. And in this episode, we really want to look at the position of light in relationship to our camera. Now let me give you a quick example of why this is important. So Katie, if you'll just zip over here, we're going to take a really simple portrait, look right at me, perfect, and you know, that looks pretty good. But if she stays exactly where she is and I move just a little bit and take another shot, it looks like Nosferatu. We do not want that. Why is that? Well, this one is pretty obvious, but it might not be as obvious when you start adding a bunch of light. And so to explain all of this stuff, I'm going to show you this little animation. When we talk about the position of our light, it's always in relationship to the position of our camera. In this diagram, the camera is directly in front of our model. If we add a light behind the camera, it's called front light because the light is hitting the front of our model just like our camera. Both the camera and the light are in front of the model. We can change the direction of our light by moving it in relationship to our camera. This is called side light because the light has moved to the side of our model in relationship to our camera. In this scenario, the light is now 90 degrees away from our camera. When we move our light behind our model, we create what is known as backlight because the light is behind our model in relationship to our camera. We can also change the direction of our light by moving the position of our camera. In this setup, we can move our camera closer to our light, and the light that was backlight becomes side light because the position of our light in relationship to our camera has changed from 180 degrees to 90 degrees. If we continue moving our camera closer to the light, the side light becomes front light because the position of the light in relationship to the camera changes from 90 degrees to 0. Contrast is an important term to understand. Contrast is the difference between the darkest and lightest areas in a photograph. The greater the difference, the higher the contrast. We can change the contrast in our images by changing the direction of light. Let's take a look at the position of our lights again. In this setup, we have front light. Front light creates very low contrast photos because the light is the same on both sides of our model's face. There is no significant change from the brightest and darkest areas. Side light creates higher contrast photos because one side of our model is illuminated and the other side falls into darkness. There is a significant difference in the brightest and darkest areas of our subject. Backlight creates maximum contrast. The subject becomes a silhouette and the difference between the brightest and darkest areas are at their greatest. In addition to changing contrast by moving our lights horizontally around our subject, we can move lights vertically as well. Here are examples of lights placed low, medium, and high in relationship to our camera. Well, that explains a lot. Depending on where our light is in relationship to our camera, we get really different results. In fact, next week, we're gonna put all of this together. We're gonna do effective size, the stuff we did in the previous episode, and the position of light and the quality of light. We're gonna do some feathering, all of that stuff with Katie in a small studio to show you how it all works. So make sure you don't miss us next week. Thanks again, and we'll see you again next week.